Hi everyone, it's Denise from Dobby Books. Happy Sunday. So today I want to share with you what I've been reading and then some plans for my continuing reading for next week. So let's start with this. I am almost done with 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. And it's interesting how I'm starting to see what he means by that solitude. He's talking about it not just in the sense of a personal solitude, but he's talking also about the solitude of a village and the solitude of a country. And that all encompassing theme weaving, he's weaved it throughout the story. And I'm looking forward to, after having finished this book, to reading some other reviews and other critiques about this particular story to sort of add some depth to it. It's fantastic. The only thing is, if you're reading this story, you have trouble keeping up with all the names because they're so similar to each other. And if you go to the beginning of the book, there's this page, the family tree, that kind of helps you to keep track of everyone. So just an FYI for all of you. So that's 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. And the next one that I'm continuing to read, that I would say I'm almost halfway through, I've read it more slowly, and I have not read it every single day. I would say every 2 or 3 days I've been able to come back to it, is Deep Reading, Practices to Subvert the Vices of Our Distracted, Hostile, and Consumeristic Age, by 3 different authors, Griffis, Ooms, and DeSmith Roberts. This is coming from a Christian perspective, but I am very happy to see their very receptive, open minds to the issues that we have today. And in the particular chapter that I'm reading, they are talking about that division that exists between the academia on the conservative side and the liberal side, and how actually both are guilty of the same thing, which I have to agree with. We don't want to hear the voice of the other side, and they encourage us to do just that. That the skill of listening is absolutely essential if we're going to be deep readers. And there's more to that, but I don't want to go into it too deeply. So this continues to be a marvelous find. So there's that one. The next one I have been that I had to pause for a while because I had so much reading I wanted to get through for special themes and whatnot, is the one by my classmate Carolynne Nelson, Silent Flame. She really does write this very well. Her main character is now going through a series of tests so that she can qualify to be one of the elite warriors in the world that she's in. And Carolynne goes through great detail. And by that I mean very good detail, really explaining well what it is that this character has had to do and the purpose of it, and how that character has felt or thought through the whole process. So I don't feel like anything has been neglected in that description. I'm still very impressed with this story. So, Silent Flame by Carolynne Nelson. The next one I'm reading, and this is for October, is The Haunting of Hill House. This is so good, people, by Shirley Jackson. Jackson is very skillfully building up the tension little by little. Something is coming. It's getting closer and closer. And oh, I just love that. This is the type of haunting that I love to not only read, but watch on TV. I don't like the blood and the gore. I love that tension that builds up. It's fantastic. So, The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I am more than halfway through, so I'm getting there. And that's what I have been reading. What I did finish or semi-finished was the collection of essays in Look at Our Holes, the anthology. And I've gotten more than halfway through. I put it aside so I could move on to some other items. And I had wanted to read through these 2 books for Hispanic Heritage Month. Down These Mean Streets by P.D. Thomas, which was recommended by Marilyn Maya Mendoza. I didn't get to it this time. And Solito by Javier Zamora, I still didn't get to this, and I've had this even longer. So there will come a time when I'll be able to get to these two books, whether it's for, a particular theme month or reading month, um, or a holiday. But I know I will eventually get to these, and I do look forward to that. And then I think that part is it. So of the next, this is okay. Now let me show you what I finished reading. Carrie by Stephen King. I'm so glad I read this. I can see the differences between the movie and the book. In the movie, Sissy Spacek is a pretty girl. She really is a pretty girl, whereas the Carrie in the book is really not. She was overweight, she had acne, and of course her personality was of someone who'd been bullied all her life. It doesn't really feel like the permission to breathe, basically. And in the story itself, you see the destruction. Like in the movie, Carrie is in the building where all the destruction takes place and then walks out. But in the book, the initial the pig blood flows over her, and after a few minutes she staggers out of the building, and then the destruction starts. So those are the two little giveaways I'll give you. This is truly a good story, and it's very interesting for me that I've read so much of Stephen King's other books, many years after he wrote this one, and this was the first one. I can read the difference in his prose. In this one, it's very good, but you can of course see that difference of this new writer who's done a very good job. That little like, oh wow, okay, here's Stephen King in his early days. So I'm glad I read this. So I finally read the classic. Now, the books that I have left over for the month of October are the following: The Saturday Night Ghost Club, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, the 1818 text, and finally, kitty cat fuzzy on here, Our Late Returns by Joe Hill. I'm tempted to read the book by Joe Hill first. Perhaps that's because I read his dad's book. And I haven't decided. I think I should read the classic by Mary Shelley first. And maybe as I get, maybe if I'm 2/3 of the way through this, then I can pick up Joe Hill's book. This is in its slipcover. And then go through that way. But I think what I will do, I think would the more sensible thing to do would be to choose the classic first and work my way through that. And based on how much time I have left, then I can go on to the Joe Hill book. So that's that. And that's it. And guess what? I didn't get any books this week. Zippo. Nada. Mm-hmm. And I know some of you may be compelled to write that on your calendar. It happens. I had a week where I really didn't go out and buy anything. I was just working and doing my thing. And I don't know, sometimes we have moods where we really just don't want to hang out at a bookstore. New or used, doesn't matter. We're too busy reading and doing other stuff. But that's been my week. And next week, hopefully, my goal is to finish with The Haunting of Hill House, as well as 100 Years of Solitude. And then I can move on to finishing up my October books, and maybe I'll finish them all. The one thing I am looking forward to, today being the 12th, I believe, in 11 days, book 3 of the Book of Dust trilogy is coming. I can't wait. So that's it, everybody. I'm glad I had a chance to visit with you and that you hung out with me. Please don't forget to push the like and subscribe button, and I will see you in just a few days. Bye-bye.